Oh, man.
Hey, old man on the Mac crew. This is Tony Jones over here with another great episode of Old Man on the Mac. Guys, I'm so excited for today's interview. Today's guest. Man, as you know, with Old Man on the Mat, it's more than just martial arts. It's for anybody older out there. When I say older, like I coined a new phrase, is the more experienced, right? That sounds better than calling us old people. New experience, the more experienced people out there. It's for all walks of life. Somebody's out there that's still active, still out there getting things done, making a difference. You can be in fitness, you can be in, CrossFit, you can be in all those things, martial arts, all those things. And one of the areas I'm real excited about is I'm very excited about guns. We all know that. I'm excited about guns. I love shooting. I love tactical training. And we have an opportunity to have a great guest here today. This guy, he's the owner of Misha Training. He has over 10 years. I was reading all his credentials here, and I'm blown away. He has over 10 years of firearm safety, NRA credentialed in multiple disciplines. The guy has done everything. He's advanced pistol and shotgun range instructor, Masad Ayub. Now, this is huge. Pistol instructor and deadly force instructor. The guy's done some of everything. We'll get him to talk more about some of these things as he come on. I can't even go through all his list, but guys, listen, we are blessed to have this guy. I want you guys to take some notes. I want you guys to listen up. If you are, and I encourage everybody, but if you are looking to get into gun training, gun safety and things, like I said, I encourage everyone, you might want to look this guy up. And with that, guys, I give you Alex Cogan. How you doing, Alex?
Hey, Tony, how you doing?
Hey,
Thanks for having me.
Brother, I'm doing great. I've been looking forward to this interview for a little while now. Because like I said before, I love guns. I'm all into that kind of stuff. Probably still can't hit the side of a barn, but, I still love it.
Well, because the barn didn't do anything to you. That's why you're missing it.
Right. Is that why I was like, Bruce Lee said, boards don't hit back. Oh, man. Like I said, I was going through some of your credentials. You've been training quite a bit. I mean, you're heavily certified in a lot of things, right?
I'm trying.
You're
The day's young.
The day's young. Oh, Lord. Yeah, tell me this. What got you started in guns? What got you started being a gun instructor?
Well, I've been shooting for over 30 years. I started when I was a teenager and been doing competition, got done competition shooting, and then, just taking friends here and there, showing them this and that. And then a friend of mine said, hey, why don't you start doing it a little bit at a higher level and start doing it more professionally? And then, we sat down, we talked, and I'm like, well, I actually enjoy teaching. And if I actually start a company and I actually start doing it, I'm going to be able to reach more people that way.
Okay.
So that's how I started. And at that point, I realized that, all that shooting that I did and competition, all that other training, it was just a beginning. It wasn't enough to actually be a coach, to actually teach other people the right way. So that's when I started finding out, who do I want to train with? What do I want to train with? Because there is just so many different options, so many
Okay.
different ways you can approach learning this topic. And I had to decide which way I wanted to go and pick a specific discipline and stay with that discipline, because I truly believe that if you're going to do something right, you have to be a specialist in it. And that's a reason I specialize in a niche and I stay in that niche. If, let's say, someone would like to get more training in rifles, can I do it? Yes. Do I really want to do it? No, because there are a lot of other people that do it so much better than I am. So I would direct those people to those instructors.
That's really, I like that. You found one that you love and you stuck with it. You weren't trying to quote unquote shotgun it to all the different niches. That's pretty cool. Now, you didn't start your training in this country, right?
No, the original training started in a country that no longer exists on the map. So to speak, it used to be the old enemy USSR.
Okay, gotcha. Gotcha. Yep. So wait, so your
You know,
training over there was done with live targets. Is that what you're saying?
well, yeah, as long as they don't shoot back.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
man.
all those stories about kids in high school and elementary school putting Kalashnikov apart and together in like a minute or two, those stories are true.
Are you serious?
And yes, and we had to do it blindfolded as well.
What? Oh my gosh. So what you're
Dude,
trying to say is that the training over there was a lot how do you say, stricter or harder than it is here?
I think it was both, and at least at the time, and I think one of the reasons was that there, if you screwed up, they weren't babying you. You were hearing what they wanted to tell you, and you were getting punished the way they wanted to punish you. There was no mommy or daddy to come and save you,
They
and
didn't
no,
care about your
and
feelings or your emotions.
no feelings. What is that?
Oh my gosh, that's intense, man. But that made you good, right? That makes you guys some good shooters, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, it taught a discipline, that's for sure.
Oh, you had to focus. You had to focus. I remember taking a course over here at I was at Alpha Range taking a course, and it was just a basic course, and the guy's yelling in my ear. I'm like, that doesn't sound right. You're being a meanie head. You're hurting my feelings. Yeah, right. Oh man, but that's awesome that you train so much. And I too, I love to take different courses and classes and stuff. Now, I'm gonna throw something out now. We're gonna bounce around a lot, but tell me, what's your favorite handgun? Because everybody's got a different gun. I got buddies who they love a Ruger, they love this or whatever. What's your favorite gun?
Can I disappoint you?
Yes, you can.
I don't have one.
Oh, that's good. Okay. Okay. All right.
you know, I have. So when people ask me, they actually get shocked when I tell them I don't have one. They're like, well, don't you like this? Well, but you carry this brand. I'm like, well, just because I carry this brand does not mean that this is my favorite. I do. A gun is the tool for me. It's a piece of metal or plastic, and I do not. I try. The emotional attachments are reserved to people.
Right.
I try not to make emotional attachments with objects because objects do break, and objects, today is here, tomorrow is there, and tomorrow there is going to be a new shinier object, and oh, look, squirrel.
Ah, good point. Very good point. Wow. Okay. That makes sense. So it was the guy, I can't remember this guy's name, but I remember it's an older guy, been around forever. He says you should be able to pick up any gun if you're trained enough. You should be able to pick up and utilize any gun and be accurate with it, just like you've used it forever. So I'm like,
That's exactly, yep, that's exactly what was taught in one of the instructor level classes that they did down in Florida some time back. We had close to 12, 16 students on the line, and almost everyone had a different type of firearm, handgun, and basically instructor said, lay it all out on line, and you start from the right and you move to the left, and you pick up a gun, and here is your target, and you need to make sure that it didn't matter what gun you picked, you were expected to perform with that.
Wow. That's pretty cool, man. No joke. That is pretty cool. Cause when you get your conceal and carry and you go back to, you got the little basic, you got to renew it every year, it's simple. And everyone brings their favorite and most comfortable gun they have, you know. And this last time I did it, I didn't have my favorite gun with me. I don't know why I didn't. I went in with a different gun and I did great with it. And I was like, well, okay, I must know what I'm doing. So I like the way you think on that. That's pretty good, man. That's pretty good. Now, when you train, when you're doing classes over at Misha Training, how do you get past some of the some of the misconceptions there are with people, brand new people, about guns and all that kind of stuff?
Well, the biggest, especially nowadays, the biggest misconception is gun skill.
Right. Right.
I mean, you start talking to people, you turn the TV on, and everyone trying to tell you that guns is a problem.
Yeah. No,
And at the
guns are
same
not the problem.
time, they're forgetting that Cain killed Abel with the rock and not the
That's
gun.
right. So the rock's the problem. The rock's the problem.
Right? I mean, if we follow that logic, then it means that spoons makes us fat, right?
Right? Right. I'm suing McDonald's next week.
That's why I use little spoon.
Oh, geez. Does that work? I need a little spoon.
I don't know, but that's what I'm trying.
Oh my gosh, that's
But
awesome.
but in reality is basically when I get to talk to someone who has prior misconception, and it's generally a negative one, right?
Right.
It's pointless to tell them that what they feel is wrong, because everyone has feels about this and that, and I can't tell you that you feel wrong, that because
Right.
that's how you feel, right? So
Right.
I try to put reasoning, and I try to create positive examples. Like, I explain to them that you take 100-pound woman, she's powerless against a 250-pound deranged man, right?
Right.
But you put a handgun in her hand, well, now that equals the equation a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. That's true. That's true.
There was a case in Oklahoma where a single mother was home with the kids, and some not, hardcore criminal was trying to break in. Well, it's good thing that she had a gun.
Right.
And
Right.
she had a 911 operator on the line. 911 operator said, well, you got to do what you got to do once he breaks the door.
Right.
Because
Exactly.
the mama bear needs to protect the cubs, right? And
Right.
the only way for her to be able to stop that lunatic is by using a firearm. At the same time, that is like a little bit more extreme, right? But at
Yeah.
the same time, I tell them that, hey, look, I have kids, and I start my kids very young. They started shooting with me when they were 5, but I made it fun for them. I brought a little tiny 22 caliber handgun, and they had a blast.
Okay.
They enjoyed it. They had fun with it. Uh, Sometimes you need to bring people back, and the best way, one of the best ways, bring back to the reality and show them that, hey, remember that case? And in the last few months, we all been watching news, and I one of the current examples that I tell people that that October 7th in Israel,
Yeah.
the kibbutz, the small village where a lot of people in the village had personal firearms, be it a handgun or a rifle, that only one village mostly went untouched.
Really? Okay.
Mainly, yes, mainly because most of the people in that village had guns
Right.
readily available to them.
Wow.
And they used them, they organized, they were training together, and they organized, and they set up a perimeter, and they defended that village.
Wow.
Whereas
That's awesome.
other villages that didn't have firearms available, because what another misconception, people think that in Israel everyone has firearms. Well,
Right.
not really. Some of their laws are a lot stricter than what we have here. So
Really?
oh yeah, oh yeah, they have a limit on how on who can have a gun. They have a limit on how much ammo you can purchase. There are
Wow.
and the carry restrictions are a lot stricter than the carry restrictions here.
Oh my
And
God.
like here, once you got a concealed carry license, they don't tell you that, Tony, you can only carry this particular gun. They tell you you are allowed to carry a handgun, right?
Right.
They don't tell you the caliber or the type of a gun or the model of the gun. Well,
That's true.
there you have to, whatever you qualify with, that's what you have to use. That's the
Wow.
only gun that you can use.
Really? So if you qualify with, I don't know, Glock or whatever it is, that's it. You can't you can't pull up
Yeah,
anything else. 6 hour, nothing.
they actually put a serial number on it.
Wow. And that's the gun that you can qualify. That's the only one you can carry.
And that's the
Wow.
only gun that you can carry.
Wow. Holy
Yeah,
cow, that is
so
different. Because we
it
always
is
thought, we
different.
hear it in the news, and I don't watch the news a lot, but when you hear it, they talk about Israel, how free they are. They have guns everywhere. Everyone's carrying a gun. And, that's what we thought, you know.
Wait, Tony, are you telling me that I just debunked a misconception?
What? I can't believe it. I am stunned. Oh my gosh. I am shocked. I don't know what I'm going to do the rest of my day now. Oh man. But you know what? Just in comparison to what we have here, and they are trying their best, a lot of the states, I won't say the whole country, but a lot of states, a lot of the blue states, and I'm not getting political here, but a lot of the blue states, they really want to get rid of private ownership of guns. And I think that's just insane. That's the most insanest thing out there.
Well, someone that came from the country where that was a thing, and someone that studies the history a little bit, I can tell you that there is a reason why politicians don't want you to have guns. And all you need to do is look at the history of Russia, look at the history of Germany in the 1930s, look at China,
Exactly.
look at the current situation in Venezuela. Venezuela used to be one of the most prosperous country in the South America, and where are they right now?
Right, exactly. But we need to know more about our history and our history out there, because I'm telling you, because they have, like you said, they have something planned. They're trying to take all the guns. But that's my tinfoil hat I wear all the time, you know.
Yep, yep.
Now, do you
Exactly.
specifically train when you're doing your classes over at Misha Training? Do you specifically train new gun owners or more experienced gun owners?
Both, but I specialize in the new gun. So in the new people that are never been experienced, never been exposed to firearms, people that have very little experience to firearms, also people that been around guns all their life, right?
Right.
And sometimes I do get people that have had prior training. uh, I had military guys. I had a couple cases where I had police officer take my classes,
Okay.
and I was able to help them. And then again, I'm staying in my specialty because when those two situations where the cop or the military guy came to me, and the girl,
Right.
depending, there was both of them.
Right.
I had a conversation with them, and I'm like, well, what are you looking for? Because if it's a military guy, I'm not going to teach him how to breach the house. I'm not going to teach him how to attack a village, because that's I don't have expertise in that. At the
Right.
same time, I'm not going to teach a cop how to do, uh, the drug bust and stuff like that.
Right.
But if they need something that is more in the line of a civilians, let's say undercover, right? Undercover cops dress no different sometimes than you and me. They would wear sweats, they would wear regular jeans, the short, be it tucked in, be it not tucked in.
Right.
They need to know how to properly conceal that firearm, right? And not only how to conceal it, how to be able to retrieve it fast and
Right.
accurately, right?
Right.
Well, that's not, as far as I know. And if someone someone more than welcome to correct me, but that's not a topic that they teach in the basic police academy on how to conceal firearms.
I didn't know that.
Because
Wow.
most of the cops, they don't conceal, right? They wear
Right.
the gun on the side. Even detectives, when they are in a regular uniform, most of them, if you pay attention, they have a gun that's outside under the, you know, the jacket.
Yeah.
They're not trying to conceal it.
Yeah.
So, and a concealment is a completely different animal in itself.
Right. Right. Because I have two nephews, both officers in Chicago, and every time, they don't conceal them. I don't see them very concealed. When I see them at family events and stuff, I see, I see you got your gun,
Well, and right.
Yeah.
And not only that, when they do try to conceal, you can see it from a mile away.
Right, right, exactly.
Hey,
Exactly.
is
It's
that a
like somebody's
colonoscopy
carrying
bag on your side?
right. And that's kind of funny though, but it is real that they are not trained in concealing. As you and I probably been out there, that's all we've done for the most part. Well, on my end,
Right.
that's all I've ever done was conceal it. So you would never know I'm carrying, which that's the whole purpose, right?
Exactly.
Exactly.
The guns are like private organ in religions, needs to be uh, held privately, and you do not need to showcase them in public.
Right. Right. That's exactly right. That's exactly right. I tell you, because I don't want anybody to know I'm carrying, other than my friends who know me. Just they know I'm carrying, but other than that, I don't want anybody to know it. And that's the whole purpose of it, I think.
Absolutely.
Because I know some states they have the open carry law, which is fine, but I don't want the bad guy to see me with my gun on my hip, because my mindset that he's going to be shooting at me first. Eliminating that threat.
Well, wouldn't you?
Yeah, right.
If you were a bad guy?
Yeah, if I was a bad guy, I would take out the threats. You're absolutely right. Oh man,
I mean,
something you said a few minutes ago about the small, about women being smaller and fighting that 200-pound guy, and I think you and we had an exchange. We were talking about it on Facebook, which is I love that because I was training some women in self-defense, all this other stuff, open hand self-defense and all the stuff, and some of them were concealing carry. Ladies, I'm not an instructor by any means when it comes to guns, but my mindset, because they're smaller women, if a guy attacks you, go to your tool belt first. That was my mindset, and you corrected me on that. I appreciate that. So what's your philosophy on that of women, concealing carrying, women carrying out on the street, something happens to them, should that be their last or first line of defense? What's your thoughts on that?
It depends.
Okay. That's true. Someone's yelling at them, they don't want to pull their weapon on. Good point.
Well, I try not to do, in reality, at least for me.
Yes.
Right. I mean, a different instructor is going to tell you something different. The way I teach, I don't differentiate on this particular topic, whether it's a female or a male.
Okay.
I think what I'm trying to instill in my students, because a lot of people, and especially men, and sometimes women too, they think that just because they have a gun, then gun is a solution to everything.
Right.
And I always first thing first is I tell them that if you have a hammer and only hammer, then every problem becomes a nail.
Right.
And you're trying to nail every problem.
Right.
So
right.
When I teach, regardless, kids, women, men, I tell them you need to have variety of tools available to you. Some of those one of those tools is the gun, obviously, right?
Right.
It is a tool. The other tool is your hands.
Right.
You need to be able to do stuff with your hands. And some people say, well, I'm a female, whatever, 100, or I'm a male and I'm old and I can't do. And it's like, which is cool.
Right.
I understand. But do you sit at home on couch most of the day? Or can you find 45 minutes, like you were talking on the last episode, can you find 45 minutes every other day to go to the gym and lift 2-pound weight? Because that 2-pound weight will translate into you being able to defend yourself 3 months, 5 months from now,
Right.
okay,
Good point. Good
can
point.
you run away? People like, what do you mean run away? I'm like, exactly.
Yeah.
Just because you can shoot MF doesn't, you know what I mean, right?
Oh,
By that,
I
by
do know.
MF.
I do know. Trust me, I know.
Does that mean you should shoot him,
Right.
right? Or her?
Right. Right.
There is a difference between can and should.
Right.
So, right. So, for me personally, if I can run away, I run away. Why? Because I avoided the problem, right? When you don't get into the fight, you know what happens?
There's
You
no,
win it.
if you win, there's no fight. You go home, they go home. There's no news reports.
Exactly. You win a fight, right? I mean, if I want to get in the fight, I go to jiu-jitsu training, or I sign up for every tournament that I can sign up for, and I go, or that kind of stuff, right?
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
when I'm walking down the street, I don't want to get into a fight, because you never know who you're gonna pick a fight with. And one of the things that I learned, particularly training jiu-jitsu, is there are some people that you look at them and they're like, you can walk over them, and it's like 5 minutes later, it's like, Jesus Christ,
Right.
you almost killed me.
That kid killed me. Right. That's right. Looks are very deceiving. So to avoid it all, you're right.
Right. Well, and another thing is, I always carry a pepper spray. And I
wanted to talk about that. That's the OC training instructor, correct?
Correct.
Okay, we'll talk about that now. Yeah, the pepper spray. So you carry it also.
I do not leave let me put it this way. If I have a pants on, I have a pepper spray in my pocket.
Really? That's awesome.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I don't care whether I'm at home all day, I still have pepper spray in my pocket. A couple months ago, I was in Florida, and one day we decided to go on the beach. Guess what I had in my pocket and my
pepper spray.
beach trunks? I had a pepper spray in my pocket.
Wow, that's pretty good, man. All right.
Because here's the thing. I'm walking in the store, right? And I'm shopping. And for whatever reason, I don't know why, but the Karen decided to shop at the same time, and she did not like the pants that I'm wearing.
Right.
And she's now in my face, and she's screaming and trying to punch me. How's it gonna look if I push her and she falls down and hurts herself?
That's right.
If I punch her and she falls down and hurts herself, it's gonna look really bad, right?
Yep, you're the bad guy now.
Punching a woman, right?
Yep.
Well, a little bit spice in her life would go a long way for her to decide that I'm not a dude that she should be telling what pants I'm wearing today.
A little spice in her life. I like that. Oh my gosh, that's perfect. That is perfect. I love it. I love it. Yeah, I never thought about that. I don't carry pepper spray, and the funny thing, I travel a lot, and I can't carry a gun on the plane, all blah 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 blah. And usually,
who told you that?
Well, I can't carry. I know how to ship it to where I'm going. I know how to do all that to get it to the airport. But I mean, on my person as I'm going through the airport, I can't do that.
I fly with the gun all the time.
Well,
we can talk about it. Has nothing to do with instructor.
Oh,
Tony,
talk to me.
I'm gonna empower you today.
You
by the
will,
Almighty and all the power that are given to me from today forward. You're gonna be able to carry the gun with you wherever you travel.
That's awesome. You know what? I love that, because my mindset with I'm on the plane, I don't carry it. So when I land, and it's everywhere I land, I go to like a quick little stupid store, and I'll grab a knife that I can buy from a store, and I keep it on me because I'm trained in knife and all that, blah, blah, blah. But
yeah,
I never knew that. Thank you for telling me that. We have to talk after this. Yes.
So every time I fly, I have a gun, a knife, at least one, and a pepper spray. Every single time.
Wow. 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 Wow.
And people are like,
that.
What are you afraid of? And I tell them that, that little joke about the state trooper Arizona state trooper. He's like patrolling a stretch of a road that's in the middle of nowhere. He sees the car going a little bit faster than the speed limit. He pulls over. He sees a lady in it. And he goes, "Ma'am, can I see your driver's license and registration card?" Little lady goes, "Sure, officer. Give me a second. It's in the glove box." She opens the glove box and he sees the revolver in it. He's like, "Whoa, you have a gun in the car?" She goes, "Yes, officer, I have guns." He goes, "Guns?" "Officer, I'm afraid absolutely not."
Nope, I'm losing you on that end. Can you hear me still?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, perfect. I hear you now. Yeah, I sort of lost you. Sorry about that.
You lost the punchline, huh?
I missed the punchline.
So when he says, "Ma'am, what are you afraid of?" When she opened and she saw all guns, she's like, "Officer, I'm afraid of absolutely nothing."
I love it. That's right. She's packing. Grandma ain't afraid of nothing.
You buy insurance. You don't buy insurance hoping you're gonna use it, right? It's like you don't call your State Farm or whatever American Family agent and says, "Hey, sign me up quick, because I need to go and hit that neighbor," right?
Right. That's good. But you know what? That's very intriguing. I haven't really, I guess a lot of assumptions I had about, carrying on the plane. So yeah, we have got to talk. I want to know that because like I said, I travel everywhere, a lot of places, and I always feel naked when I get off the plane. So I always go to have something on me. That's
it's a bad
pretty
feeling
good.
when you're in public and you're naked, right?
Yeah, right. That's all in San Francisco. But anyway, we won't go there. Oh my gosh, that's really good. Now, when you're training these people, now let's talk about the pepper spray. Now, when you're training the tactical guns and everything, do you automatically add in the pepper spray? You talk to them about pepper spray, or that's a separate class on its own, so they can be very proficient in how to pull it out, how to utilize it, and all that.
Generally speaking, it's a separate class on its own.
Okay.
However, depending on the class that I'm doing, I will introduce the pepper spray. There is going to be a portion where you, instead of a gun, you're going to need to use a pepper spray. And I picked that up from, one of the things that I learned in the industry is you need to give credit where credit is due. And I'm trying to get better at it. Is the person that introduced that, and actually I observed him teaching that way, is John Murphy from FEF Training out of Virginia.
Okay.
So depending on the class, I will introduce pepper spray on the middle of the class, and people would actually have to go and use the pepper spray. Generally speaking, pepper spray is a standalone class.
Okay.
I will mention it, like every class that I do, at the end of the class, we talk about different things, and I will mention that, hey, by the way, pepper spray is something that you probably need to have.
Yeah.
And pepper spray is something that I talk to people in all different places. Like, have you ever caught yourself telling people about jiu-jitsu? When you were at waiting in line to buy a Stanley Cup. No, never mind. Now you wouldn't be standing in line for Stanley Cup, but you know what I mean, right?
Yeah, right. Right.
You talk to your friends about jiu-jitsu, the friends that don't do jiu-jitsu, right? And they're like, "Please, Tony, I'm tired of hearing you talk to me about it." But I not only talk about jiu-jitsu, I also talk about pepper spray. I don't necessarily talk about guns because, I'm generally not the one that will start, "Hey, how you doing? My name is Alex. You want to talk about guns?" No. Unless they ask me, I don't say it. But I will bring up pepper spray if the conversation gets around, different topics.
Right.
Because pepper spray has a different emotional attachment. People have different emotional attachment towards the pepper spray versus towards the knife or the gun.
Right. That's true. Yes.
Right. They don't look at it as anything special. They don't look at it as, "Oh my God, you can kill someone with it." I mean, you could theoretically,
right,
but they look at it differently.
Good
I hope
point.
I answered your question.
No, you did. You did. That's really good. Now, is there, because I know there's different kind of pepper sprays, or the kind you can buy at the counter, which a friend of mine who's a tactical trainer, he talks about that kind of pepper spray is like putting pepper on your eggs. He'll spray that on his eggs if he wanted it, So, what's a good type of pepper spray that I should be getting, or that anybody should be getting?
Well, pepper spray industry is only regulated if it has to do with bear spray,
Okay.
against bears. So if you go into Colorado or Montana or whatever, you can find a special bear spray, right?
Right.
That is the only spray that is regulated and controlled to make sure that it's built properly, designed properly, meets certain standards, because God forbid we hurt a bear, right?
Right, exactly.
However,
right.
The pepper spray that is designed for human consumption
Consumption, yeah. The spice in their life.
Right? It's not regulated by any means of imagination. There are literally companies that are run out of their basement that make pepper spray.
What?
And yeah, seriously, yeah.
Wow.
Do you like pepper?
I use pepper.
Do you
I
ever?
do.
Okay, so let's talk about cayenne pepper, right? Cayenne pepper, you go and you buy cayenne pepper, and like you buy one today, and then you go, let's say, in the store 3 months or 4 months from now because you ran out of your supplies, and you go buy another cayenne pepper. It's going to taste a little bit differently. It might be a little bit spicier or less spicier, correct?
Right.
Right. Do you know what controls that?
What's that?
Sun and moisture. Sun and moisture controls how spicy and how not spicy. If you introduce more moisture, it's going to be less spicy. If you introduce less moisture, it's going to be more spicier. So there are a handful of companies that actually have a quality control to make sure that one canister is going to be the same as another canister and another canister and another canister.
Right.
So the companies that I suggest are Sabre,
Yes, Sabre.
SABRE,
Yep.
Sabre Red.
I know those guys.
Or POM, pump spray. So the pump spray actually is a spray that I suggest more. That's the canister that I have. That's the canister that I recommend. That's the canister that I give to my friends, my daughters of my friends, to carry to high school or wherever, college, when they go. I have friends that had kids, particularly girls, go to college, and they're like, Alex, hook me up. So I give them. So I have that. I always try to have at least few of them available to give out.
Okay.
And
Palm spray.
they are and they're not expensive. So first of all, they're not expensive.
Okay.
Second of all, when I show you a pump spray, the canister, it looks no different than a full-size female lipstick.
Really? Okay.
Canister. Yeah. So.
And that's what you keep on you.
Yeah, I always have it on me. Like, seriously, if I have the pants on, I have the pepper spray with me.
Gotcha.
Okay. If you ever catch me without pepper spray, I'll give you $10.
Or you don't have your pants on. One of the two.
Well, I mean, Tony, if you catch me without pants on, wait, hold on, that's next podcast.
Right, exactly. That's the night podcast. Oh my God. But that's pretty good, because I'm gonna get some of that palm spray and start carrying it. Now, when you're utilizing that or training in that, is there a special way to use the pepper spray, or is it just aim away from your own face and spray?
Well, one of the first, I need to mention this especially to a female students, because the reason for that is because female students, unlike male students, they don't learn at a young age that you are not supposed to pee against the wind.
Ah, gotcha. They don't learn. You're right. You're right. You're so right.
Right?
Well, you pee once against the wind, you learn.
Exactly. So
Oh my
pepper
God.
spray, you kind of need to be aware of which direction the wind is blowing. Okay, so you kind of need to be aware of that. If you deploy pepper spray, you are most likely gonna get some of that residual as well, because I mean, wind changes, right?
Right. And it
Uh,
is close range fighting, I guess, so he's close range to you.
Generally
Yeah.
speaking, pepper spray is we're talking about 10 feet distance.
Right.
Well, 10 feet distance is not that far, right?
Exactly. That's nowhere.
So yeah, so there is and not only that, people don't understand that just because you sprayed someone with pepper spray does not mean that they're gonna stop doing whatever they're doing.
Right.
Because if someone is really, really, really out to get you, they will get you.
Oh, without a doubt.
When I got certified for pepper spray instructor, one of the things was that I needed to. So they sprayed my face, right?
Yeah,
And
they sprayed
then
you.
I
Yeah.
needed to lick my lips
Oh,
and taste
oh, they
good,
get it all in. Oh
right?
man.
And then I had to run. I had to engage two dudes fighting, and then after that, I had to run a little bit more and engage another guy,
Oh
right?
my gosh.
So it's possible. Now, it affects different people differently. And, someone, you spray someone, and they're like, yeah, I don't want anymore, right?
Right.
But you spray someone else, and they're like, yeah, not spicy enough.
Come at you. Oh my God.
Can I have another, right?
Right.
Yeah. So it's plus there is a foam. There is foam. It create the foam like foam. There is a fogger.
Yes.
Fogger, it's like a cloud, right? It's like a mist.
Right.
There is a gel. There is a stream. They all have different type of applications.
Okay.
They all have their own specialty, and depending on the situation, I would say, well, you need this or you need that. Like
Okay.
personal for every day, I suggest having a stream.
The stream. Okay.
Versus the others. As far as application, I'm not a priest. I'm not even a Christian, right?
Right.
However, I tell people, pretend for just one split second that you're a priest and bless their soul up and down across the airways and horizontal across their eye line.
Got it. Got it. So you're literally covering that guy, or whoever it is.
Well,
you're covering
your
that
soul,
Oh my gosh. But you know what? I never knew that. I thought you just spray it at them and run, No.
Well, I mean, hey, if you can run real fast, it's always an option, right?
Right. So it's not an option for me because I can't run real fast. I just lean aggressively.
Neither am I, dude. Neither am I. I used to run real fast, but that's been
Those
eons
days are
ago.
gone. I feel you, brother. We're in the old man on the Mac crew, brother.
Yeah, if you see me run, right?
Right. That's right. If I'm running, you better run too, because something's really coming. Oh man. Now see, you do so many things, which is really cool because of course you do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu over at Lake County Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. That's how we met.
Yep.
Yep. Now, do you do are you certified in knives at all? Do you use knife or blades or anything?
Define certified. Am I certifiable? Yes.
Yes.
Am I am I certified? No.
No. Well, you know how to cut your meat, right? So there you go. You're certified.
Exactly. I always have a knife in my pocket, and when people say, well, why do you have a knife in my pocket? I'm like, well, because I like to cut my apples.
Yeah. Okay. That's something to say. You didn't say if your knife has blood on it or not when you're cutting your apples, but that's okay.
Right. So I had a conversation with a friend who's a cop, and he said that, yes, there are regulations on the length of a knife, on the kind of knife you carry, and this and that. At the end of the day, it's really going to boil down to what was your intention.
Right. Exactly.
So, the right lawyer can indict a ham sandwich.
Oh,
right?
yeah, exactly.
So
exactly.
Do I carry a knife? Yes, I carry a knife. Am I trained to use a knife? No. Am I likely to go for the knife, it really going to depend on the situation.
Okay.
Most likely, no.
Gotcha.
It's going to be more of a last resort.
Right. And you have it there anyway, just in case. You never know. Well, I like the way you think, though.
Exactly.
You have your firearm, you have your knife, you have your pepper spray. You are ready. You are ready.
Yeah.
But I like that. You have to be prepared, though, right?
Right. Well, and also you and I, we train Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, right?
Right.
But I think you even better than me.
No.
We use yes, we use the word jitsu, because sometimes you can talk yourself out of the problem. You
That's
can always
true.
talk yourself into the problem,
Right.
but you can sometimes talk yourself out of the problem, right?
Exactly. Exactly. That's true. That is true. That's word jujitsu. That's right. I remember this was years ago. I've never been into a bar scuffle in a long years ago, but I'm the guy that's always offering to buy the other guy a drink, so we don't have to do anything. It's like, hey, let me buy you a drink, man. Let's calm this down. And that usually works. I'm a talker.
Yep.
I'm a talker, not a fighter.
Yep. A friend of mine, Jack, he's like 6'10", like big guy out of Georgia. He says that, and a lot of our friends picked it up, you have my bet 20. Basically, you have a $20 in the pocket, just a $20 in one pocket, and it's, hey, my bet. Let me buy you a drink. Here's a 20.
See, there you go. But most guys, a lot of alpha, and I wouldn't say alpha guys. He sounds like an alpha guy, but most guys who I consider beta, they want to fight all the time. So, that's got to diffuse the situation at $20. I would hope I got to start carrying $20 on me.
Well, and talk about the alpha beta guys, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if we look at the last, 2-3 years, correct me if I'm wrong, but there were 2 world champion Brazilian jiu-jitsu dudes that were shot.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Because they wanted to impose themselves.
Yeah.
While the problem was they imposed themselves on someone that had a firearm.
Exactly.
So that's the mentality. Going back to one of your earlier points, teach women to always go for the gun or not always go for the gun. It really depends, and sometimes going for the gun can invite more problems.
That's true.
Than not going for the gun.
That's true.
So that's where having options is beneficial. And those options sometimes it's just, hey, dude, I'm sorry. It's my fault. I'm sorry. I did not see you and I bumped you.
Right.
I'm sorry. It's my fault.
Right.
When I go home, I don't even know who that guy is.
You could care less. You couldn't care less about the guy. Yeah, you're like, okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's not like it's gonna go on my resume forever and ever, right?
Right. You walked away from this fight in the bar. You're demoted. I agree with that 100%, man. Because you're out there, you want to have a good time, and a lot of meatheads out there. And the best thing to do is diffuse the situation, walk away. I'm sorry. Let me buy you a drink. I will walk away, and that's perfect. I love that. I love that.
What is your end goal?
Right.
What are you? I'm sorry, I'm losing the word. It happens. Don't get
That's
old.
Okay. You're old. You're part of Old Men on the Mat crew, man. We get to that age where we're senile, brother. I'm with you.
What's your
what's your end game? What's your purpose?
Exactly. What's your end game?
Yeah.
And my end game is different than your end game. My end game, I have a wife, I have 2 kids, I have a dog, I have a cat that I need to get home to.
Yeah, exactly.
So everything drives from there.
Yes, sir.
If I get there and I'm injured, it doesn't help them.
Not at all. Not at all.
If I get involved into something and I end up going to jail, that doesn't help them, right?
Exactly.
So if I say, hey, dude, I'm sorry, and I go home, did I help them? Hell yeah.
Yeah, because you walk away from a situation that has no outcome that's going to be good. Good, whatever the side you're on that fence is not going to be a good outcome. It's just walk away and go
Exactly.
home. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
But I find that most guys in our age bracket, I'm sorry, our experience level, we
Exactly.
think
Right.
like that. I'm just out to have a drink, hang with some friends. I want to go home. Leave me alone. I'm sorry, I'm
Right.
going home, and that's completely okay. But that's pretty cool that you teach all those different, or you utilize all those different things. You use in words, using your hands if you have to with Brazilian jiu-jitsu. You use a knife. You use pepper spray.
Pepper spray.
That's
Yeah.
one thing I have to really get into. Now, I'm going to ask you about a gun. This is one of those discussions that I hear in the gun community, and I want to ask you. So before I go into that, before I do that, answer this for me. Tell me. I saw on some things we were talking about before. Tell me the difference. The difference between tactical cool versus real life. I love that phrase, tactical.
Tactical.
Yeah.
Tactical is when you have dudes. You ever seen the picture of Mule Team 6?
Yes.
Okay, that's a tactical. That's
Yeah.
the guy that just walked away from the Nintendo station and still has donut powder on his lips, but he has all the latest and greatest in gear and all the
Yeah.
latest and greatest in firearm industry strapped to his uh,
Yes.
leg, to his chest. He has the latest, the greatest in ARs. He has the latest night vision, the latest Blaster 2000 that shoots by itself and hits the target a mile away. So,
Yeah. I'm laughing because I know a couple guys like that, and I hope they're listening to this too. They have everything.
versus the dude that trains for the real life, it's a dude like you and me. Here's the thing. If you're showing up for the class and the description of the class is we're going to run, we're going to jump, we're going to shoot behind barriers, we're going to shoot around cars, that's probably a class where you dress up as a Mule Team 6,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But if you're showing up for the class that is geared for the concealed carrier, that is geared towards the regular Joe Schmo that works in the office or whatever at the factory. You show up, I tell people, show up as yourself every day.
Right. Right.
I like last May, I was taking a class in Utah. It was a regular class that designed for the regular Joe, right?
Right.
Well, I showed up in the class in the sweatpants and the sweatshirt.
Yeah.
And people are like, "You have a gun on you?" I'm like, "Hello."
Yes. Yes, I do.
Yes, I do. Thank you very much. Right?
Oh
Now,
man.
when I like for the last few years, I've been helping out Ron and make sure that everyone is safe at the tactical conference in Texas,
Yeah.
Dallas. So I'm going there again. Well, when it's warm on the middle of the day in Dallas, it gets into the 80s.
Yeah.
It's not uncommon for me to walk in literally those sports shorts that you wear when you go work out and a
Yeah.
t-shirt. And hello, I still have my gun on me.
Yeah. Right.
And I still
Exactly.
have my pepper spray on me.
Yes.
So depending what your end goal is, depending what you're training for, that's how you're gonna show up. And the reason for that is, I understand it's cool to dress up and run and jump and shoot on the fly and all that cool
Yeah.
stuff. But is that what you're gonna do in your real life?
No.
No. So if you cannot implement that in the real life, then I call it an entertainment money.
Yeah, well,
Right?
you know what
And
it is. It is. It really is.
right? And we all need entertainment, right? We all decide where we spend our money for entertainment.
Right.
But if you are carrying a firearm on yourself just in case to protect yourself or your family, then train in such a way like in your regular life.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So people would go in there and sometimes I see it in a class that is geared towards concealed carry,
Yeah.
and a guy would show up or a girl would show up with the biggest blaster that they can attach to themselves, and it's not concealed,
Right.
or it's sitting on the side like colonoscopy bag.
Right. Oh man.
It's like, is that how you walk? Do you have a colonoscopy bag in your daily life, right?
Oh my gosh, right. Oh Lord have mercy. That's perfect.
No, I have this little tiny, blaster. Well, then let's train with that blaster. Then let's train with the way that you actually gonna carry, because you're not gonna have that big scary gun with you when you're out at Mariano's shopping for the milk to dunk your Oreos,
Right.
right?
Oh man, that is so funny because I see guys like that, and nothing's wrong. You have all that gear, like you said. Good luck to you. That's awesome. You can get all that stuff. But I've been to the range with, and I'm not gonna say their names, but there are a couple Leos, and I go in my gym shoes and sweats, do the same thing, and they're like, "You're gonna get your stuff on?" I'm like, "What stuff? I'm ready. What are we shooting at?" You know?
Exactly. Let's go.
Yeah. What are you talking about? I'm ready. Let's shoot, man. You have to dress the way you're going to live your life. And that's awesome. But what I was going to get into, what I was going to ask you here, I know a timer going on here, but I want to ask you, and I hear this in the gun industry. I hear about different carries. Some guys are appendix carry. Some guys are, 6 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock, tie, all that. What would you, just in your experience, where is the best place to carry? The position, I should
internet? Say. Are you trying to break internet?
I am. Because I've had these discussions all over the place, man. These guys, no, you got to carry here. You got to carry. Oh, okay, whatever.
Well, the default answer, the first and foremost, carry your fucking gun.
Exactly. If you're not carrying it, why do you get the license to carry it? What are you doing?
Because believe me or not, a lot of those dudes and dudettes that are on the internet discussing the location of the carry, they don't carry.
They don't carry.
Or they carry, or what people sometimes tell me, well, I'm only going to bring my gun if I'm going to go there. And it's like, whoa, dude, my man, hello. If you know it's so freaking dangerous that you need the gun, then why the hell are you going there?
Why are you going there in the first place? Exactly. Exactly.
I know that alligator can bite my arm off. I'm not gonna stick my arm in the alligator mouth. Like, exactly. I don't care how much money you pay me. So
that is so true. That is right. Oh my gosh.
To your question, to address your question, it's really. There is no right or wrong per se.
Right.
There are some positions more advantageous than others, and it also depends on the body type.
Mm-hmm.
It also depends if you're tall, if you're short. It also varies if you're a man or you're a woman, and the reason for that is because the man waistline is at a different location than the woman waistline.
True.
Right?
That's true. Yeah.
So that also dictates where one would carry the gun. Have you had a surgery at certain location?
Right.
Well, you might have carried the gun in one spot, but then for whatever reason you had a medical procedure and now you have a scar there. Well, you might not be carrying the gun in the same place, right? So
right.
Personally, I prefer appendix carry, and there are many reasons why I prefer appendix carry. Appendix carry, I can get to my gun whether I am pushed against the wall. I can get to my gun if I'm on my back on a mat.
Yes.
I can get to my gun if I'm sitting in the car. I can get to my gun if I'm on a motorcycle. Now,
right.
If I'm going in public, most people, unless I go into certain parts of town, don't look at my junk area.
Right. They might.
Well, they might, but most people don't, right? It's
right.
Like when you and I meet, we look each other in the eye, right?
Exactly.
You don't let your eyes drop down below,
eyes
right?
Wander down. Good point.
Right. So as a matter, here's a true story. I had a class about 8 years ago. In my class, I had a guy that is about 6'10", about 250. He was would consider to be a Green Beret in Russian army,
Okay.
and then he was in Marines here in US.
Wow.
He has a black belt in Sambo. He also has a black belt in Judo.
Okay.
So he's not a small guy,
Right.
not a weak guy, right? So he didn't believe that I can get to my gun if my gun is an appendix.
Okay.
So I had him come behind me and give me a bear hug. And as you can imagine,
Yeah.
when he gave me the bear hug, I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. Well, even so, he had me in a bear hug, and because he was taller than I am, he literally lifted me off the ground. I was still able to get my gun out of the holster.
And you still, that's actually helped you too, picking you up.
Right? So have my gun been in any other position? Nah, no way, no how.
You're right. You're done. You're done.
Because if someone takes you in a bear hug, your arms are kind of fixed into one spot.
That's true.
And the only part of your arm that you can move, your hand that you can move, is whatever below the elbow.
You're right.
Well, hello, that's where my gun is.
Yeah. Yeah, that's smart. I love it.
Right?
That makes sense. Yeah.
I took a class about 7 years ago in what is it, New Orleans.
Okay.
And it was a force on force class.
Cool. I
So
like that.
it's a situational class, right?
Right.
So you are put into a situation. You're given a blue gun. Blue gun is the gun that looks like a real gun but shoots like a paint bullets.
It's a
right?
fake gun.
They can't,
Yep.
Right. So they can't kill you, right?
Right.
They can sting you, but they theoretically can't shoot and
Right.
kill you. So
right.
I had it in the same position, like appendix, like I always have. Well, in that situation, I had no idea who's the bad guy, who's the good guy, and it was in a convenience store, right?
Right.
So because I had no idea where it's going to be coming from, it happened that it came from behind me, and the guy pointed the gun. He pretended to be a bad guy, and he said, on the ground. Well, I went on the ground, belly down.
Right.
You know what I was able to do
Still,
without him seeing it? I was able to get my gun out of the holster and engage it without him noticing it.
Right. Wow.
Because even so, I was laying on top of it. You don't really need that much room to shove your hand there and pull the gun out of the holster.
True. Yep.
You know, and the internet will tell you that you're gonna shoot your nuts off.
No.
And the debunk, and my take on it, it doesn't really matter where you shoot yourself, because I do know people who shot themselves in the ass because they carried the gun behind them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
So the point is, if you don't touch the trigger when you're not supposed to touch the trigger, you're not going to shoot your nuts off.
Period. Right? Exactly. Period. And you're not blindly shoving it back in the holster and catch a snag on your pants or anything. Yeah, you're not doing that. Yeah.
Exactly. Well,
that makes sense. I carry appendix also for those same reasons, because you assume I'm going to be on my back at some time if someone tackles me or whatever it is. I always wanted to have my hands where I could reach my weapon. So I'm glad since you has confirmed it, it's going to be the answer on the internet forever. Appendix carry is where it's at. It's where it's at. Because I do have friends who are bigger guys, meaning belly wise, and they carry on the side because they can't get their hands under the belly fold. And I'm like, all right, that's up to you.
Oh
man.
my goodness. Okay. Since we are not only friends in real life, but we are also friends on the Crazy Book.
Yeah.
One of my friends on the Crazy Book, his name is Spencer Kippers. He is also a owner and designer of the holsters. He makes a really cool holsters.
Okay.
Called Kippers holsters. So when you go and you Google Spencer Kippers, he is big dude.
Okay.
He's the belly.
Wow.
You know where he's carrying? appendix.
Really? Because does he have the wraparound band? Is that what it is, or?
No, no, wraparound band is for Special Olympics. You know,
Okay.
when you need to wrap around yourself.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Okay.
uh,
Oh my God.
no, he has a normal Kydex properly designed holster for specifically for the appendix carry,
Okay.
and he teaches the proper presentation from the holster. And like I said, he's the big dude. He's like, I don't know. The last time I saw him, I know he's trying to lose some weight, and I think he lost some weight. But I think the last time I saw him, he was pushing 250 maybe.
Wow.
And Spencer, please, if I said something wrong, don't shoot me.
Right. Oh yeah, he's gonna listen
But-
to this. He's coming for you.
Right. Well, he most likely is going to see me in a couple months in Texas. So, yeah, Spencer, please don't shoot me.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Spencer. I'm
I'm
sorry.
sorry. I take everything back, right?
Right? I take everything back.
Yeah, but he is not a guy that would sign up for the ballet lesson.
Okay. Oh my
He's
God.
more of a linebacker type of guy.
Wow. Wow.
He's not your what's that position? The guy, that little tiny guy that runs with the ball and catches the ball into an end zone.
The receiver? The wide receiver?
Yeah, he's not the
that.
receiver.
No, he's the guy on the line, the center. He's on the line.
Exactly.
Oh man. That makes sense though, brother. Well, let me ask you here. I just had it here. Now, before, because I know we're running on time here, and I know you took a lot of time to talk to me, and I appreciate it, man. This has been one of the funnest ones out there, so I appreciate you big
My
time.
pleasure.
Now, how often do you consider, let's say, a new person coming in? Oh no, let's not even go a new person. Let's say an experienced person is gun enthusiast, guys out there shooting, blah blah blah. He knows his way around a pistol and all that kind of stuff. How often do you think he should be doing two things? One, live fire drills. And when should he do? How often should he do dry fire drills? It's weekly or whatever it is, to keep him sharp.
Tony, guess what I'm doing right now?
Oh, you doing dry fire drills right now? That's awesome.
So I'm sitting in the kitchen, right? The oven is about 5 yards away from me.
Yeah.
No, more like 4 yards away from me. So I pick the button, one of the circles, and I'm taking the gun out of the holster and I'm presenting it, and I'm lining up the dot on that circle.
That's
while we are
dang
talking.
Cool. I love it, man. That's what I'm talking about, man. That is so funny. Because guys would come to my house, and on my door, on the inside of my door, I have a laminated, very small, probably about 8 inches size target on my door, and I'll just walk through the house, do dry fire drills. They think I'm the weirdest guy, but the way you're doing it, that's really weird, but I love it.
Well, here's the thing. With the way I do it, you walk into my house, and unless you go into my office, you really can't tell that it's a gun. There is a gun in the house, right? Because I don't have the targets. I don't have stuff like this, because I pick things like this. I pick a light switch.
Okay.
Right? I pick, there is a shadow. I pick the point on the shadow. Like in my basement, it's an old style basement with the wooden boards. There are imperfections on those wooden boards. So I pick that. So to answer your question, I try to train dry fire daily. And again, you don't need a lot of time. You only need, I tell people, do not spend more than 5 minutes. And the reason do not spend more than 5 minutes at a time is because once your mind starts wandering, oh, look, squirrel, you're no longer concentrated on what the heck you're doing. You're no longer concentrated if you're doing it right or you're doing it wrong, right? As far as shooting, I generally try, if I'm just going by myself, if it's just for me, I try to go at least every month, right?
Okay.
There have been months when there has been time not long ago where I wasn't at the range for 3-4 months. But you know what? As long as you do your dry fire and as long as you're doing it right,
Right.
you are not really losing your life skills.
Okay.
Because what's really important for the regular Joe who conceal carries, the important part is your mental. Are
Right.
you ready? Are you paying attention? Can you mentally deal with the problem, or are you just gonna shit your pants and stay there and like,
Right. Right.
why is it happening to me? Right?
Right.
Can you present the gun out of the holster fast enough to deal with the problem? Well, I'm sorry, you don't need to go to the range to practice that, right?
That's true.
Unload your gun and get your gun out of the holster
That's
and
true.
see and practice that. And the more you practice, the less problems you're gonna have, meaning that you're gonna catch a short, you're gonna catch this, you're gonna catch that, and it's gonna fail,
Right.
fall your draw stroke, right? But if you do enough time, you're gonna perfect it and you're gonna be able to draw. And drawing, whether it's an empty gun, whether it's a loaded gun, it doesn't matter, right?
Right. Right. That's true.
Presenting the gun on target, and regardless if you're using the iron sights or you're using the red dot, it doesn't matter whether the gun is loaded or not. You still need to acquire the front sight, you still need to acquire the red dot. And I would go into more deeper. Not every time you're gonna put a front sight on a bad guy chest, you're gonna need to shoot.
Good point.
There are gonna be times when you're gonna point a gun at the bad dude chest and he's gonna go like, oh shit, I have a dental appointment somewhere else. He's
Right.
gonna turn around and leave.
Right. 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 Oh. Okay. I like that answer. I do.
Right? So yeah.
So just as much as you can, you want to do it daily, and I like that because a lot of times but I spend more than the 5 minutes, and I like the way you're saying the 5 minutes because you're absolutely right. More than that, I do wander. You know what I mean? My mind wanders a little bit. I get off what I'm doing, but I always have to bring myself back to what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm going to adapt to 5 minutes because I like that. If you do what you're going to do in 5 minutes, you don't need all day. Boy.
Exactly. You do it less, but you do it right.
Right. Focus, focus, focus. Brother,
Right.
This has been awesome, Alex. I tell you, I have more questions I want to ask you, but I'm going to ask you another one. I'm going to hopefully I can finagle you to come back in for another one and give me some more pointers on all this stuff because I do want to talk to you offline here about the carrying my gun on the planes because I need to know that.
Well, I got a bottle of bourbon that we can
Yes.
dunk our Oreos in.
I'm done. I'm in there, brother. I'm there, man. But man, I appreciate you so much, man. Thank you so much for coming in with this.
Thank you.
Hey guys,
Pleasure.
That's been Alex over here. Alex he owns Misha Training. He's over at Lake County Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. As you just heard, the guy knows so many things. And like I always say, guys, I appreciate everything you guys are doing for this channel, Old Man on the Mat. Appreciate the sales and everything with the shirts. And once again, if you get a shirt from me, make sure you send me a picture so I can make you Instagram famous, right? So put your face all over things. And guys, with that, Alex, thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you more than you know. And we'll catch you next time.
Thank you, Tony. Talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Oh, man.